you're looking at the Roughneck Professional Mortar Gun, and what a cracking bit of kit it is. Mortar guns are getting more and more popular, so Roughneck had taken the average mortar gun that you can buy pretty much anywhere and looked at it and thought, well, you know, what can we do to make this more durable and better? That's the word, better. So let's unwrap it, and we'll go through each bit as it comes out. The first thing that you notice on it is the aluminium tube as opposed to a plastic tube that most mortar guns come with. And to get into the tube, we've got a really coarse thread. Now that hasn't just happened, that's done by design, because that coarse thread stops the mortar getting trapped, because once this thing's filthy, and it will be filthy in a bit, the mortar doesn't get trapped in that thread, so it's easy to keep undoing and doing these up. So that's a great thing. That undoes at both ends, obviously, and shows us the plunger mechanism. And it's a really strong plunger as well. It's got a couple of little air, or one little air slot in there, so that allows any trapped air between the plunger and the mortar to come out, so that's not wasting any energy as you push the plunger. A lovely pull and push action just by a simple trigger mechanism like most sealant guns. Again, a great coarse thread, and the plunger comes with a spare in the packet as well. Everything that you see here can be bought individually from Roughneck, so you can get 2 or 3 tubes and you can fill them up to do a house, whatever you're doing. If you're in the trade, you'll probably have 5 or 6 tubes, and you've got a labourer constantly filling them and passing them to you as you go. So that's the plunger, and that's the tube. We've then got a couple of nozzles. There's the spare plunger face. A couple of angles. You'll see me using this one. This is the angled nozzle, and that's the square nozzle. That would be used more for vertical joints. This one for running along the horizontal joints, but we're going to use this one for both. It's entirely personal preference with those. And then there's a grouting nozzle as well. So this is great for joining, if you want to put a wet mix into patio slabs, or you want to join floor tiles or even wall tiles, you can cut this nozzle back as wide as you like and have the bigger joint, or as small a joint as you like again. These can be bought independently. And finally, but by no means the least important, is a little scoop. Now, as far as we know, Roughneck are the only pointing gun that come with a scoop to help you get the mortar into the gun. The most important thing about using a pointing gun is the mix itself. If you look at our videos on mixing mortar, and there's another video on using an admix, a mortar admix, and you will see the correct mix required to mix the mortar to get it in the pointing gun. This is a 4-to-1 mix with some admix in it. It's beautifully plastic. You can feel, you can see how it's self-supporting and yet running at the same time. So that's the mix we're looking for. Look at our other videos and they'll tell you how we do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our nozzle in this end. That fits in there. It's so simple. The nozzle straight in. Get this ready. And you can just feel how strong this is as you're putting it together. Okay, and then we're going to use our scoop and we're going to fill our mortar gun up. Now, I would advise, if you're doing this at home, that you should be wearing some latex gloves or something. Protect your hands, because there's a lot of lime in the cement. Tap that down. You can see how easy the scoop makes it. Okay, but you're going to get dirty, there's no question about that. So if you don't want to get dirty, don't do the job. Now we're going to clean that off. Okay, and then we're going to put the plunger in, release the trigger first, push that down, and then engage the thread onto the top of the tube, and you can already see the mortar coming out. Okay, that's what should happen. Okay, so we're now set for pointing. By squeezing the trigger, you can see just how beautifully that comes out. I'm going to go and damp the wall down and leave that for a few minutes so that we're not pointing onto a dry wall. If we do that, the moisture's soaked out of the mortar straight away and starts cracking. So we're going to damp the wall down a little bit, and then you'll see us using the jointing gun. One of the other things that we like about this Roughneck gun, and this is incredibly well made. Make sure the joints are absolutely full. I'll show you why in a minute. It's also a good idea, although I haven't done it, so that the cameraman can get you a better shot. It's also a good idea to start with what we call the perps, and that's short for perpendicular joint. Okay, so on a wall you would normally do the perps first. And you can see how easy that action is. Okay, we're going to run along this horizontal joint now. One of the great things about this gun as opposed to others is that this nozzle is small enough to get inside the joint. A lot of other pointing guns give you a nozzle that's exactly the same size as the joint. You can't get in and you can't ensure. Can I ask the cameraman to get a real close up there of just how deep that mortar is going? Okay, there is no question that that joint isn't full up. Okay, now you saw me damp the joint down. I've got a little squeak. It is the gun, it isn't me. You saw me damp the brick down. That stops the mortar drying out too quickly, and I'll show you why that's important as well. Let's leave that there. We've got an example. You'll see that I filled, if not overfilled, the joints. Let's put this down a minute, and then I'm going to get a really advanced tool from my tool bucket. This is a piece of hose pipe. Here's a little trick. If you want to point a wall neatly, having used the joint gun, the mortar gun, run your hose pipe down the perps first of all, shake off the excess, do the perps first, and then because you filled the joint properly with the Roughneck mortar gun, you will get a gorgeous joint. Now you'll see me doing this in other videos. I'm a little bit light on my filler there, so we'll just pop a bit more into that joint. There's a little bit missing up there. So that's how easy it is for even remedial work to joint up. And there we go. Then I'm going to leave that for half an hour. I'm going to brush that wall off with a really soft brush, and you will see what a well jointed wall looks like. And all of that has been done with this beauty, the Roughneck mortar gun. You best go and get one.